I've grown hundreds of different vegetable varieties over the years, but the ones I've come to rely on the most are what I call my effortless performers. People sometimes ask how I enjoy plentiful harvests despite being a little bit lazy. Well, the truth is surprisingly simple. It all begins with smart choices right now. You see, among the many thousands of vegetable varieties out there, only a tiny handful are so easy to grow and so reliable that they've actually won awards for it. These are the true standouts, the Oscar winners of the gardening world, if you will, and today we're going to use them to create a low effort, high reward garden plan. When I'm choosing varieties for my own garden, I'm looking for a combination of three things. These varieties need to perform well, even in tricky weather, and if they stand up well to pests and diseases, then all the better. If it doesn't fill the harvest trug, well, I'm not interested. I want varieties that guarantee me hearty harvests, not meagre pickings. And of course, it needs to have exceptional flavour, because what's the point if it doesn't taste amazing? So let's get on with the first of 4 beds we'll be laying out today. Bed 1, front and centre. And as we go along, I'll be dropping each crop into my plan so you can see it come to life. I just love this time of year. All that dreaming of what's to come, all that promise, and we're laying the foundations to success right now. This first bed is all about fast, high value returns. Those crops we'll be harvesting again and again. And what says fast better than lettuce? So our first crop today is lettuce salad bowl. And this is one of those varieties that will never let you down. It's held both the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit and an All-America selection for many years because it just keeps on reliably producing plenty of leaves without bolting. Snip, 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 and it just keeps on coming back. In the hungry gap of early spring, a cut and come again lettuce like this is a real hero. Maximum value for minimum effort. To make it onto either of these prestigious lists, they will have undergone rigorous field trials by horticultural professionals to prove their superior garden worth. So if you want to skip the guesswork and just go for something you just know will work, these are the ones to go for. It's like kind of giving yourself a competitive advantage without all of the hard work and fuss. Also in this bed will go some beautiful spinach, and the variety I've chosen has beautiful pointed leaves and great resistance to diseases like powdery mildew. Mikado is a truly stonking hardy green because it's far less likely to bolt prematurely, which means it runs to seed, and that means you can pick its leaves for much, much longer. And it's also incredibly good in the kitchen, from everything from stir fries to salads. And we can't have a salad bed without salad onions, can we? So let's drop in a few rows here of a beautiful bunching onion, Ishikura, which produces lovely, long, straight stems. This Award of Garden Merit winner is absolutely the winning ticket for just about anything in the kitchen, and it has really good resilience to cold, which makes it perfect for sowing nice and early. Early salads can be started off from the second half of winter, so let's sow a tray of this tempting trio right now. And into my very muddy fingers go the lettuce to start with, and I'm just going to drop in about 2 seeds into each plug, and I'm using a all-purpose potting mix here. That's just fine. There we are. And once they have come up, I will just thin them out by removing excess seedlings to just leave 1 seedling in each cell. And then 2 seeds of spinach as well. And then for my beautiful bunching salad onions, it's in with between about 6 or 9 seeds, very roughly, and they'll be grown on as a clump and planted out as a clump to grow on as a cluster. And with them sown, I'm just lightly covering them over with more of our potting mix here. Now, obviously, when you're sowing into the same tray, don't forget to label for goodness sake, otherwise you'll get all mixed up. And we'll give them a good water. Now these are just going to go indoors actually to germinate, just on my kitchen floor at room temperature, not anything special. And once the seedlings have popped out, they'll come back out here, or you could use something like a cold frame. Now it really depends on how cold your winters are. If it's brutally cold, you might want to delay sowing to more like early spring, and you can always use something like bubble wrap or a few layers of fleecy row cover over the seedlings to keep them really a little bit warmer on very, very cold evenings. And then once these are up, they will get planted outside in about 5 to 6 weeks from popping up. They'll go out initially under some sort of row cover or horticultural fleece just to keep them a bit warmer until they find their feet at least. Hardy salads like this are just so fantastic because they are so forgiving and they're perfect for sowing nice and early like this. It might be a bit of a dreak time of year, but do you know what? The days are already getting longer and planning like this just fills me with optimism and hope. And now for the real crowd pleasers, tomatoes, beans and outdoor cucumbers, all proven varieties delivering weighty yields. So let's start with tomatoes, and I expect many of you can guess what I'm going to recommend here, a sweet flavour bomb of the cherry tomato, Sun Gold. These golden tomatoes have earned a place thanks to their insane sweetness, disease resistance and unstoppable productivity. Let's add them into our plan. If I had to grow just one tomato for the rest of my life, well, it doesn't really bear thinking about, but if I did, this one could well be it, or at least very high up on the list. Then against this arch here, let's place ourselves some Cobra beans. This climbing snap or French bean produces long, glossy pods over a ridiculously long season. Productive, pest resistant and with exceptional flavour. This is the bean I recommend to beginner gardeners because it's just so easy. Then lastly for this bed, a couple of Market More cucumbers. Like all of these summer staples, they'll go in towards the end of spring when this current crop of broccoli will have been harvested and long gone. This award-winning cucumber is famous for producing loads of straight, dark green fruits, and it copes really well even with inclement, changeable weather, which means it's perfect for growing outdoors. Oh, and it never gets a bitter taste to it, unlike some varieties. So that's bed 2 done, a powerhouse of summer crops. Just thinking about this plan is getting me excited for summer. By the way, the garden plan that we're putting together today will be available to download for free as a sample plan within our garden planner. And once you've got hold of it, you can swap out varieties or add your favourites, just customise it to suit. So if you like, you can use it as a starting point and then evolve from there. And I'll share with you how to get it at the end of the video. Right, for our next 2 beds, I'm actually going to merge 2 of these smaller beds together so I can fit everything in. I hope you'll forgive that indulgence. And for our 3rd bed, we're going to go for some staples that every gardener leans on. So that's beets or beetroot, carrots, potatoes, and of course, onions. Carrot Flyaway is an award of garden merit champion and widely considered to be one of the most reliable carrots you can grow. And that's because of its very high resistance to carrot fly, which can burrow into carrots, ruining roots. It's also got great colour, is sensationally sweet and has a lovely crunch to it. So into our plan it goes. Beets or beetroot boltardy is practically legendary amongst gardeners, and yes, another winner. It's winning for me because it's slow to bolt, and bolt resistance in a root crop is a big deal. Here's the last of my boltardy crop here from this season, and I love it because it produces these beautiful, smooth, almost sweet roots. Other beetroot can be fancier, like the candy cane stripe ones, but for taste, this is the winner and the one I come back to year after year. Then there's onion stewron, and stewron, what a kind of regal name that actually is. This variety is slow to bolt, it's really reliable, and it stores fantastically too. So if you are looking for an onion that lasts well into winter, this is the one to choose. It's always worth growing a few varieties of potato if you can, but if we had to pick just one, it's hard to beat the classic Charlotte. This award winner is justly a firm favourite, thanks to its firm, waxy texture and glorious flavour, delicious in salads or served up steaming hot with lushings of butter and plenty of grinds of the peppermill. In our plan they'll be going over here, going in as our kale is coming out, and put to one side of the bed, they're not going to flop over and get in the way of our root crops and our onions. And there we have it, a beautiful bed of staples, simple, productive and dependable. Our fourth bed will keep your family stocked with delicious, nutritious cabbage family crops from summer well on into the winter. Brassicas especially do really well when you choose award-winning varieties like these. So first up, my absolute favourite, kale, and I've chosen a variety of Cavolo Nero kale called Black Tuscan. Now this one has bagged itself an award of garden merit because of its exceptionally tasty, incredibly hardy, deeply crinkled leaves. I've got some Cavolo Nero growing here actually, and you can see why it's a winner for me. It's architecturally stunning, one of the most stunning plants you can possibly grow, I reckon. Hardy, productive, and looks cracking to boot. Cabbage Greyhound is a classic that has held its award for literally decades. Well, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Greyhound matures early, produces pointed heads, and is really reliable in cooler climates. And it has an exceptionally long sowing window, all the way from late winter to summer, giving up its tasty heads from summer well on into autumn. And then there's broccoli, and I'm going for a sprouting type called Claret, which produces absolutely stunning purple spears. Sprouting broccoli like this here for next spring is one of the very finest vegetables you can grow. Great value because it's so expensive to buy in the shops and really good eating. It takes a bit of time to grow. You plant it in summer to harvest the following spring, but once it gets going, my goodness, isn't it worth it? An absolute winner in my books for a very good reason, trust me. So that's bed 4, our cheerful cabbage family crops. Grow these and your garden will be productive well beyond the warmer months. So let's take a moment to zoom out and admire our 4 beautifully balanced beds on our garden plan there. This is an award-winning garden plan you can rely on, the lazy gardener's dream. While all of the different varieties in this plan are of course important, it's also the thinking behind the plan that makes it work so well. Each bed offers crops that will give a harvest at slightly different times, offering something to pick and enjoy from early spring right through to winter. Your future self will thank you for this. Vegetables like purple sprouting broccoli and sweet pop-in-the-mouth cherry tomatoes are delicious, but they can be pricey in the shops, so growing them yourself seems doubly rewarding. Bed 1, our salad bed, gives super fast returns. Bed 4, our cabbage family crop bed, is more of the long game, whereas beds 2 and 3 are somewhere in the middle. All of this means that you'll have something to pick most weeks of the year. Award-winning plants aren't chosen randomly, they're tested across different soils, climates and conditions. For gardeners, especially new ones, they're a secret tool to getting that success. One thing we haven't touched on in much detail is exactly when to plant everything, and honestly that's because it will be different for each person depending on where you're growing. But if you're using our garden planner, your plan will tell you exactly when to do that. That's because the garden planner uses data from your nearest weather station to produce a reliable guide to when to sow, plant and harvest all of these crops, so they're tailored to your precise location. No guesswork needed. And I will catch you next time.